Well, Richard, it's good to see you again.
You too.
It seems to have been a while that we've been meeting like this.
It is, yes. 3 years on. And here we
Yeah,
are.
this is the gig that never ends.
It is.
Does it?
Like
does
a
it feel-
Beethoven symphony, he just cannot finish.
It just keeps going. Do you ever find it hard to get your mind back into this role, this world, when you've been off working on other projects, doing other things?
You know what? I think because I'm so familiar with Tolkien and the work, and I read the book when I was 7 years old. It's sort of always there in your mind, and you just need a little bit of a recap. So we all kind of gathered and watched the film again to remind ourselves what it was we were doing, and so it comes back so quickly and so vividly.
Yeah, and when we first met and talked, we talked about the end for Thorin, and about that would be a wrench for the fans if they hadn't read the book, or and you was excited about how that scene played out. Now that you've seen it in the context of the film, is it what you expected? Did it read differently in context?
It was beyond my expectations, and it's really weird because I found myself thinking, God, it might be a little bit narcissistic to be moved by your own performance, but there was a point in the film where the filmmaker kind of grabs you and pulls you forward in your seat, and my heart was racing, especially as the battle starts to escalate, and so many moments that I remember filming, but I was so moved when the dwarves finally break out of the mountain. For me, that's the moment where I'm hurtling towards the emotional end as a viewer. But yeah, I mean, it surpasses my expectations, and the amount of beautiful digital work that they've done, which is seamless, and God, it's moved on so much, the technical stuff.
I must say, I did cry a lot, more than I expected to.
Did you?
Yeah. By the end of the film, I was a bit of a wreck, but it was great. I wanted to ask you a bit about when you were in New Zealand, the way that you and Peter Jackson and the filmmakers embraced the Maori culture when you were there.
Yeah.
And because I have a feeling that's something that was kind of important to you. Could you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was the way it was my first step in the Hobbit in a kind of public way. We prepared sort of in quiet rooms alone. But the first time, the first day of shooting, there was a pōwhiri, which is the Maori ceremony to bless the soundstage, and I was asked to speak some Maori, and from that point on, there was always a sense that the communities were coming together to help make this movie, and there's something about the spirit of that culture, the mana, which I felt was important to my character to bring that to the set every day. And I don't know, I feel that there's a sort of vibration of that through this character, the honour and the spirit.
A warrior energy as well.
Yeah, it was useful, and it was important to just feel it.
Yeah. Now tell me a little bit about The Crucible. I came to see it and loved it. Did you enjoy that experience? Yeah,
it was the first time back on stage after 12 years. And so interesting that all of these pieces of the jigsaw puzzle that you collect along the way, that was so much of The Hobbit that informed what I was doing. And, not in a direct way, but just in terms of stamina and vocal energy, because I'd been training my voice as Thorin to try, that it had to sustain in a way that I'd never used my voice before, and it just came into play for the Crucible.
Yeah, and that was something that a lot of people commented on, was the strength of your voice, and it almost seemed to me like, how can he sustain this when you were doing John Proctor, and yet obviously...
It seemed to me as well, I was like, I really keep my fingers crossed that I'll get to the end of the run without losing it, but I did, and I think it's because of the regime and the discipline that I'd kind of built up from working on The Hobbit.
Yeah, well, it was great, and we really look forward to seeing what you do next, Richard.
Thank you very much.
Nice
to
hope to
see
you
again.
in February.
Yes, fingers crossed. In LA.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you.